Hey guys, welcome to Get Busy Watching. I'm your host, Honest Dan. Let's talk movies.
Relax, be cool, cause if you don't, you'll act like a fool, so be cool.
In commemoration of the upcoming sequel, reboot, whatever it is, The Suicide Squad, I'm taking a look back on the animated Suicide Squad movies by WAG. Okay, so technically this isn't really a Suicide Squad movie because Batman's name is clearly on the title, but I would like to argue this. Batman is barely the focus of the story. The Squad is. So as far as I'm concerned, this is a Suicide Squad movie. My guess it's only titled so because it's supposed to be a prequel to the ever-popular video game Arkham Asylum, which is a really great video game. I recommend that. But we're here to talk about a movie, so let's get to it. This is my honest opinion of Batman: Assault on Arkham. Amanda Waller, reprised by CCH Pounder, is putting together Task Force X, comprised of Deadshot, voiced by Neil McDonough, Harley Quinn, voiced by Hynden Walsh, Captain Boomerang, voiced by Greg Ellis, Black Spider, voiced by Giancarlo Esposito, King Shark, voiced by John DiMaggio, and Killer Frost, voiced by Jennifer Hale. Turns out that Waller and Batman, reprised by Kevin Conroy, are both after something that the Riddler, voiced by Matthew Gray Gubler, is keeping secret, but Batman thwarts Waller's attempt to have him assassinated and sends him to Arkham Asylum instead. Sending in Task Force X to retrieve Riddler, it's revealed that the stakes may be higher than anyone realized.
Damn it! Let's move. Maybe she'll kill him.
I like it. How could I not? I'm not sure if I like this or Hell to Pay more, but both are pretty fun. Can we just appreciate that this movie doesn't spend 30 minutes talking about its squad members? It shows us who they are and what they're about, in style, but does it quick and efficiently. In just a few seconds each, their personalities, what they're all about, are front and center. Violent, funny, it's the complete package. Please, Gunn, tell me you're learning from this. More importantly, tell me you learned from this.
Fresh air and time off my sentence? Feel free to keep calling me up, love.
And maybe I shouldn't have such high hopes for Gunn's version, because it looks like the squad in that movie is setting out to save the world from a threat that the Justice League should be taking care of. I don't think the squad is supposed to be used in such a way. Okay, so comic fans are likely going to correct me on this. I've never read a Suicide Squad comic in my life, so maybe they routinely save the world from huge threats. But I feel like WAG has their roles locked down. They're somewhere between street level and Omega level. In Justice League Unlimited, they infiltrated the Watchtower to hack the League's servers for information. No small feat considering how packed with metahumans it was. Hell to Pay had them dealing with villains on their level, but still posed a legit threat to them. But they weren't saving the world. Even the now underwhelming Arrow series featured the squad, and again, they weren't saving the world. Low-stakes stuff is where the squad belongs. Look what happens when the squad takes on an Omega level threat. It doesn't work out well. Here, we're back to low stakes. They're not saving the world, they're infiltrating Arkham Asylum. That's it! Well, okay, there's a lot more to it than that, but you get the idea. And lo and behold, the animated movies are more beloved than the one live-action flick. The squad is a bunch of villains being villains. Even when you have their softer moments like Killer Frost and King Shark having the hots for each other, it's creepy, yet kind of funny. This is what makes a squad movie work, not some lame-brained attempt to make them a dysfunctional family.
You're not still mad about that truck, are you, Pengy?
Wah wah.
It feels like you are.
And even though I have a complaint about this later on, I have to say that how certain events play out is pretty interesting. The idea that Harley was using the squad to get into Arkham and break out Joker, reprised by Troy Baker, gotta say, I didn't see that coming. And even though Joker isn't the main villain, at least he's a legit threat that I can take seriously. Unlike a certain other Suicide Squad movie. Gotta move past it. I got Nightmare Joker, and that was great. Anyway, the thing Batman is after and where it's been hidden was a pretty awesome setup, and what Riddler knew, yeah, I can see why Waller wants him dead. Not entirely sure how or why Riddler would know something like that, but hey, whatever, I guess.
The Joker has a dirty bomb? That gives me the chills.
Ice puns? Really?
There's no negatives. Shut up, there's no negatives. You're a negative. Your mom's a negative. Hey, why should I talk about the negatives? negatives? I know! Yeah, there's a couple worth mentioning. Small and petty first. You got Giancarlo Esposito in this movie and did nothing with him? You made Giancarlo Esposito an unimportant secondary character. Bad wag. Very bad wag. Go to your studio and make a Mortal Kombat movie and make sure that Giancarlo Esposito is in it with plenty of screen time to boot. Jokes aside, it's true. Black Spider is clearly a dude who will get offed at some point, and there's not even anything remotely memorable about him, despite being voiced by Esposito. Even the scene where he threatens Boomerang, calling him a lawless, disciplineless dude, he just reminds me too much of Black Tiger from Hell to Pay. Even though that came out much later than Assault, but Tiger was the more compelling and interesting character. Spider just comes across as another psycho but thinks he has a code of honor. I guess there's always at least one in these movies.
I killed to keep degenerates off the streets. I won't work alongside them.
My biggest problem with the story, however, is that there's actually two stories going on. Story number one, the Riddler knows something and Waller wants him silenced. Story number two, Batman is looking for a dirty bomb that Joker has hidden away, and his search has taken him to Arkham. Nothing these two factions are doing have anything to do with the other. At the very least, how they're connected is pretty loose, and anything that Batman is doing could have been easily severed and very little would be lost in terms of a coherent narrative. You could even potentially have saved Batman's section of the story for a direct sequel that would have led directly into Arkham Asylum. Just a thought. As a result, it just feels disjointed, and Batman's only here because the title has his name in it. And because we're in Arkham, Joker has to make an appearance. It feels a little bit checklisty.
Women! Am I right, officer? Can't live with them, can't kick them out of a moving car.
Upon reflection, I would say that this has a more iconic voice cast. I mean, anything with Jennifer Hale is immediately going to get my love. Not to mention the return of Kevin Conroy and CCH Pounder from the Justice League cartoon. This definitely earned my respect. Aside from that, there are some wonderful and weirdly great moments, even if they don't always make sense. Unfortunately, the stories make this movie feel like a game of Pong. The violence is a bit too PG-13 for me, and it almost doesn't need to be tied to the Arkham Asylum game because it stands pretty well on its own. Still, if you haven't seen this, I do recommend checking it out. Still better than the 2016 Suicide Squad. But I guess that's not a high bar to overcome, is it? My honest rating for Batman Assault on Arkham, a 4 out of 5.
That's checkmate, Batman.
I'm warning you.
Enough.
Thanks so much for watching, you guys. I really appreciate it. Have a great day. Stay safe and healthy out there. Hope to see you soon. One final caveat as you guys move on with your day, I've decided to test my luck at a Patreon, so please consider supporting the channel. No obligations, of course, no content is gated off, but any and all contributions would mean a lot. Link in the description. Have a great one, folks.